trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?
And now, Shooting the Shit with Dave and Ellen.
That always makes me laugh.
Our theme song is the best.
Yes. Hi there, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to Shooting the Shit with
Ellen
and Dave.
Whoop, whoop.
And we have a very special guest with us today.
We do.
Hello.
John from Undercover Poo.
Undercover Poo.
It's we'll get into all that later.
Yes, we will.
But we just wanted to let everybody know that we have a guest in the house. And
Yes.
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's episode 13, but it will always be number 2 to us. And our theme today is Undercover Poo.
Yes.
But before we go into that, we have to always go into our check-in. We always let our guests check in first. How have your poos been recently?
So typically I'm on the 5 side of 4.
Nice.
But today was a nice, perfect 4.
Oh.
Bravo.
Very nice. I feel like I have very few of those.
Yeah,
But I'm like always on the either the top or bottom end of the 4. It's never
5 or a 3.
never quite find that sweet spot.
Maybe the Benefiber we got will help.
Oh yeah, our friend Lauren gave us these like a bag of Benefiber, which is hilarious. I'm like, this is something my grandmother takes, but I guess I'm taking it now.
You're going to shoot straight up to 1.
Oh yeah. Pretty much. This stuff looks, I mean, it's kiwi strawberry, so at least it'll
Tastes good?
yeah.
Delicious.
Great taste, as it says, sugar free. So yeah, thanks Lauren for that.
Thank you, Lauren.
Um
I'm so excited to tell you my poops before and after Benefiber.
yeah. Yeah, Benefiber, hit us up.
Yeah.
We're repping your product.
Dave, how have your poos been recently?
I don't know, pretty. I would like John, like 5-ish, somewhere between like a 4.5, if you will.
A little bit like seaweed hanging off of it.
Yeah.
Loose seaweed.
Seaweed. Yes, a little loose seaweed. But yeah, pretty much like somewhere between 4 and 5.
Well,
Nothing, to
as
write
long as
home
you're
about.
pooing,
Yeah, constipation is not.
it's our enemy.
We cannot have that.
We wouldn't have a podcast if everybody
Yeah.
was constipated.
That would be really bad. But no, just like pretty run of the mill poops.
Good. I am still on all my Lyme medicine, and I'm almost done with this last malaria medicine that's really hardcore, and I can't remember the thing, but I was supposed to be taking it every day for 30 days, but it made me so tired I couldn't function.
Yeah, you were
So
saying
then
that.
my doctor was like, do it every 3 days, and then there was a second pill I was taking every 2. It was just, there's too many pills in my life. So so the second pill ended, and I was like, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do it every other day to like speed up this process.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, you should talk to your doctor about it. I was like, it'll be fine. Like, I was supposed to do this every day for 30. I just wanted to be over with. And my poos have been total number 5, close to number 6. I think this medicine is like
It's just like
loosening it.
yeah,
And it's
going to town on your.
I'm not
on your
having my
system.
fun little 4s anymore, which is sad. And it's been a lot. Like 2 days ago, I maybe went like 5 times.
Oh my God,
Yeah, it's too much.
that is a lot of going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes.
time consuming.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. I'm like,
yes. I have other things to do in my life. So, but today, actually, this morning, I only pooed once, and it was a number 4 with a surprise, like little 1 floater at the top. I haven't had a floater in a while. So it was like funny to have like a perfect do, and then it was like an exclamation point,
Yeah.
like boop.
it's like a little like cherry on top.
Yeah. I was like, oh, well, that's weird. Oh, well. But at least I'm making.
You're going.
I'm going.
That's the thing.
And then another part of my check-in, I posted this on the Instagram. My dad sent me some Easter cards, and my dad always finds fart cards, which I really want to know where he buys these. Like, I go into stores looking for cards to send him one back, and I cannot find fart
It's a
cards.
special store in Connecticut. or-
Yeah. Oh, no, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, I mean, sorry.
Yeah, and so I wanted to play this one card, and it's a bunny rabbit, and it says "Pardon me" on it, and it says "Press here." Stagg great?
Jerry Stagg.
My God.
I would love to have been in the Hallmark meeting. That was like someone was pitching that. They're like, I've got this thing. I mean, it's a little crazy. Everybody's like, let's do it.
And
like
my
that
dad
went into production.
My dad signed it 1 of 2, and I was like, "What the hell does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh, he sent a second card, so it's 1 of the 2 cards he sent." Yeah,
it's your dad's pretty funny.
he is.
Now, if they put a little carrot spray in there, it'd be even better.
I know,
Yeah, right?
a little scratch and sniff.
See, I like that. That's a good idea. Hallmark, you should like take some notes here.
Yes, I might take this
Don't
card
forget where to
apart.
send the royalties.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at this point, Hallmark can make anything on a card, and someone's gonna buy it. Like,
Totally.
they can literally put a piece of shit in that card, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this will sell," and someone will buy it. They'll be like, "This is great, right?"
They will.
Like,
They'll buy it and send it to
guaranteed.
you guys.
Like, could you imagine the one that got manufactured? The ones that didn't. Like, I would love to see the ones that they were just like they got thrown on the
My
on
God, the
cutting room
reject.
floor. Yeah, a little audio thing, but
That'd be so funny.
yeah, Jerry Stagg, man, really funny.
Always delivering with the fart cards. He did the St. Patrick's Day one.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then we got this one for
Yes.
Easter.
So
Which
funny.
is, we're pretty close to it.
So let's get into our theme today. We have John from Undercover Poo. And John, tell us a little bit about you and your product.
Okay. Well, I'm by profession a cosmetic chemist.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
That's fascinating. I love that.
I not only am I a cosmetic, I also teach cosmetic chemistry at a college in New Jersey. So I've spent my career making shampoo, oddly enough,
cool.
since I'm bald. It's always strange that I've spent my career in hair care products.
I mean, I had a friend that was the social media for a shampoo company. Like he was completely bald, which I thought he's a comedian, but I thought that was really funny.
And so, as one of the roles that I've worked in, was making a lot of like bath bomb type products, and essentially what these are is they're mini bath bombs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I used it.
Yeah, so they fizz up. If you've ever made a baking soda volcano, it's the same. That's the same chemistry that goes into this. Obviously you can't use vinegar because that's liquid, and these are solids. But it's the same chemical reaction, and the baking soda really helps to absorb the odor below the surface, so you do truly get a complete reduction in odor. And I'm interested to hear your experience. I know personally, without them, I can foul the room pretty badly.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, trust me. Like my wife is probably like, thank God that this is in the house. No, I mean we've both used them. I mean, my experience with it. The only thing I wasn't sure of at first was, do I let the whole thing dissolve first?
You don't have to.
Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, the first time I tried it, it was kind of like stuff was happening. So
I was telling Dave that like when I have to poo, I'm turtling. Like I can't wait.
But I mean, I dropped it in there and it was kind of fun. It was like almost like throwing like a grenade and something. Like just like when you stir it down, it just instantly reacts, and you're like, oh yeah, total bath bomb. But
well, the great thing about Undercover Poo is it's like a little bit bigger than a lipstick container or like a pack of Lifesavers. And so it's small. I could throw it in my
really
purse
portable.
really easy.
It's like, I mean, honestly, the thing I like about it too is like the fact that you don't have to spray it. I mean, the spray is fine and everything, but it's like sometimes you don't have time to. It's just like you just drop it in there. That's what the ease of it.
And I tell you, I mean, I've gone and been turtling and my benefit in making them is I have all the broken ones. so I just keep a jar of the broken ones.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
and sometimes you don't have time, but you can, even while you're sitting down, throw it in. It'll still help.
Gotcha.
Believe me, it'll still help.
Because that was my only. I mean,
which is a little more difficult with the spray, because then you're like trying to get between your legs.
Not going to happen.
You might get some splashback. And
in our house, we used to use the 1-drops a lot.
Okay.
And Ellen gifted me with the poopery. But then, so now we have all 3, and like I find myself, this is way easier to use as far as like you just drop it in there.
Yep.
The 1-drops were okay, but I don't know why they call them drops. It's like a pour or a squeeze. I mean, like a drop. I'm like, I don't know who tested this, but yeah, and like I actually like this. This one we have is tropical. Do they come in different?
It's only the 1 cent right now, right?
At the moment,
Okay,
it's only
right.
the 1 cent.
Yeah, the cent's
Which
nice.
it smells like something you want to eat. Like
Yeah,
it smells
it's-
like a candy.
It's very like yes.
Well, and there is now it's everything that's in there except for the fragrance is really edible. I mean, it's
baking soda.
baking soda,
Yeah.
citric acid, which is what they use in all the sour candies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And there's some other materials that it basically sugars.
Is the citric acid what the vinegar would be in the volcano,
Exactly.
and then you just get it
That's
wet?
Exactly right.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, it's very cool.
And but there is a bittering agent in there. Now I haven't paid the company that makes the bittering agent, so
Gotcha.
I can't mention their name.
That's fine.
But if I did say it, you'd know what it was.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
But it is in there to prevent children from eating them.
Ah, I see.
So,
oh, that's a good point. I guess I didn't even think about that. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't have children, so it's like I wouldn't even think that. But yeah,
There's nothing harmful, but it would just taste really bad.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's like when someone eats what do you call it? Baking chocolate for the first time.
Yes.
They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's so bitter.
So kids, don't be eating undercover poo.
But
But,
when we were out to brunch, Dave and I, a couple weeks ago, our waitress was actually a friend of ours, and she's like, God, I gotta take a shit. And I was like, here's an undercover poo. And I just like handed her a tablet, and she's like, am I supposed to eat this? And I was like, no.
Yeah, don't eat that.
I was like, just drop it in the toilet.
Yeah, you don't have to.
And like I was like, you're working, you don't want to stink up the place, so it's fun to just like hand them something that's also discreet looking.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, it doesn't look like a big bottle
Exactly.
of spray.
I will say that too. Like you don't think like, oh, what? I guess we know what they're doing in there. Like you just.
and so that's a lot of the reason for the product is a lot of people obviously you guys don't have a problem talking about this.
No, not at all. We love this stuff.
And in my recent time on Instagram, I see a lot of people don't really have a problem talking about this, but there are a lot of people who are really embarrassed by
yeah.
the subject.
Yeah.
And especially people that work in very close quarters with other people, and they don't want everybody knowing what they do.
I mean, I know, like, and we were talking earlier before this show started that, yeah, I have an issue with that too. It's like I don't need to see it or hear it or, I like talking about it, but something like this it is very discreet. Like this is going with us to Puerto Rico, for our anniversary, and it's great now to have this little travel size thing just pop it in my bag. Boom.
Yeah.
And
I also was out with a friend of mine a couple days ago and had to take a poop at a store that I was at. It just like came over me. And when I came out, I turned to him and he's like, what happened? And I go, I made an undercover poo. And I was like, I like using it as almost like a verb. Like it's also like an action,
Yes.
I mean, it's basically what you're
Go
doing.
undercover.
It's just kind of like,
I
bam.
made and he's just laughed at me and just knew.
It's a fun it's a fun product to use. I like the whole dropping it in kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just like bombs
It reminds-
away.
yeah, it
A
reminds me of
bath
being a
bomb
kid.
for your toilet.
It's literally that's what it is, and that's such a great description.
Well, so it's funny that you said that because I know we'll go through your normal questions when we get to that, but that's actually the punchline of one of my stories.
Oh, nice. I'm just curious, like, what was besides obviously, taking away some of the odor from number twos. Like, what was the input? Like, is it something that you just like?
It's really about the embarrassment of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people who go through the day and they're just holding it. They don't want to go at work or they don't want to go in a public place.
Yeah.
Because they don't want everybody knowing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it goes back to being ridiculed in high school or if it's a Freudian,
it's probably all of those things. I guess.
Freudian thing.
Toilet potty trained.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, like the sprays didn't really work, and knowing the chemistry, and how well baking soda absorbs odors, I just thought, knowing all of these things, that this would be a good product. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we'll see what the market has to say.
How long has this been out now for?
This has been out for since September. So
Oh wow, so that is pretty
A
new.
baby.
Yes.
I guess I couldn't remember what the that's amazing.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to develop this whole?
Probably
Product.
about 6 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's quick.
Well,
I mean,
Well, I mean, if you do it for
I kind of know what I'm doing.
I mean, if that was Ellen and myself, we would be like,
Oh my God.
It took us 5 years, and and it's still like the size of a dinner plate now.
I mean, for me, 6 months to develop a product like this actually is a long time.
Gotcha.
One of the challenges is obviously this has to dissolve.
Yeah.
And you want it to dissolve quickly, because you don't want to be standing there for 5 minutes waiting for this.
Exactly.
You're like, what am I?
What am I doing?
I'm on the floor at this point,
Yeah.
right?
It's coming out now.
and it, toilets are only fed with cold water. It's like, okay, well, if I could warm the water up, that would make it go a lot faster. But so you've got to sort of solve that technical issue.
Wow.
So there was actually quite a bit of work in terms of chemicals that help to break the tablet up.
Right.
That, absorb water very quickly, break it up, let it dissolve in under 30 seconds. So that, you're not standing there waiting for it. You can really just kind of throw it in and sit down.
Right.
Or, if you're totally turtlehead, you sit down and then throw it in.
Yeah.
So 6 months is, for me, a long time.
Right. In your world. Interesting. I mean, I mean, like the size you did, like you got it down to was perfect.
Yep.
I mean, that's a really short, I mean, again, from a layman's
Yeah.
perspective, that seems very quick. But that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole science behind it. As far as like, I love the fact you just drop it in.
Yep.
It's very simple, very easy. And again, like very travel. It makes it easy to travel on a plane, especially.
Yeah. And I think, as we continue to do development, I do have an idea for one that is for home use that just goes in the back of the toilet.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
like
wow.
a toilet biscuit.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's it's great.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't really use those anymore. I used to all the time. My parents did.
Yeah.
And I just never even think about that anymore.
When it would
This-
turn the
Yeah, the
toilet water blue.
Yeah. And then like when it was like kind of clear again, you had to get another one.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But that's a great idea. Actually,
Yeah.
shit.
And then I mean, for husbands and wives, you don't have to, or families in general.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about forgetting to use it.
Interesting.
That'd be
and-
awesome.
And everybody's just covered.
Yeah.
That is a really
and if
cool.
you have a party, I mean, then it's even better.
Yeah, I used to use a little candle running.
But I also
the whole
like
time.
the toilet tank isn't something you think about cleaning out.
Right.
And I feel like it would also help with that. 'Cause, like the best way to clean things is baking soda and
Baking
vinegar.
soda,
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
make this claim, but I have noticed that the bowl has been cleaner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. Though people use baking soda all the time for like
Yeah.
really different kinds of cleaners. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. Wow.
It's like a double duty.
Well, I'm excited for that product. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are we thinking about what kind of flavors are we thinking about for the new stuff that's going to be rolling out?
I'm not really sure. I think the next one's going to be more of maybe a lemony. I'm open to ideas. Maybe we might put a poll out on Instagram and see see what everybody votes for.
Strawberry
I-
kiwi.
Ooh. Just like our
You got You
Benefiber.
got two flavors in that one.
I feel like anything that's like I like smells that are a little bit cleaner, like basil, eucalyptus. Those are all be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus. Lavender.
Yeah. Lavender for your
La-
quiet time
Ooh,
poos.
that's
So because the baking soda does a lot of the heavy lifting, and it's there's really as much or more absorbing of odors than there is of covering up.
yeah.
And you probably noticed it's the fragrance for the room is not as strong as say the sprays.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And really it's not about, for me, the product's not about covering up the odor. It's about,
it's neutralizing it.
exactly absorbing it. So the fragrance is really more for just for you for in use.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah. Gotcha.
It leaves a subtle fragrance behind. So it's not even like if you walk in the room after somebody uses an air freshener,
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know it. And,
Yeah.
and it's just
It smells like poo with air freshener.
exactly. I was
Yeah.
thinking about that for this commercial because I have a friend whose mantra is "Don't drop your deuce at my house," and literally, and people have been kicked out of his house.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
He throws people out. You do your business at his place, you're gone.
Wow.
So I'm kind of the commercial that I'm planning is using his likeness. Basically, John walks up for the Super Bowl party, and on his front door is leave your deuces at home, and there's like wallpaper and photographs all over the living room. No number twos, number one only.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Don't drop
That's
the
actually
deuce.
pretty good. I like that. And then he has no idea that happened.
It's like that picture that Matt Holtzclub sent us that we posted on the Instagram. And it was like that bathroom he saw, no dumping anytime, strictly enforced.
I saw that.
Yes, there you go.
I like that.
Your friend probably has that. I should get that for his front door. That's okay.
So funny.
I mean, it's his house, I guess. His rules.
So good.
That's amazing. That's a great commercial idea, though. I like it.
Thank you.
I like where that's going. I like the creative behind that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that we just did our first product review. Like, this is the 13th episode of this podcast, and we were hoping to get products on here because we're like big fans of a lot of things, but like this is like really exciting for us. So
Awesome.
thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really like,
Thank you.
like we were super happy that, that we're doing this, and then the fact that like when we got in the mail, I'm like, oh my God, we were so excited to like try it. I think I might have even tried it when we recorded? We were supposed to have a meeting or something. I can't remember. It was like soon after I got it. I'm like, well, this is happening. All right. But it was great. I love the whole concept and the fact that you work as a sorry, what was it gonna
Cosmetic chemist or formulating chemist? Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
cool.
you. So do you make? I'm just curious. Like side note, do you work on things like what's that movie or the book? Fast Food Nation, like they have like this one part in this in the book where they talk about McDonald's have like these chemists that like make the actual fragrances for like French fries, like smells. And at one point, the writer was just like sitting there, kind of to close your eyes, and like this little wafted like piece of paper.
Yep.
He's like, "What do you smell?" I was like, "I smell French fries." And then he opens your eyes, it's like there's nothing there. So I'm like, that's incredible to me.
Yeah.
That is just like this is the fact that you can like take all those things. Take a bunch of stuff, like I'm like almost said potions.
Yep.
Take a bunch of things and make it smell like something like just like that.
Now, I don't personally work on fragrance and aroma compounds. I do work with people who do that.
Right.
That is more of an art.
Gotcha.
And while there are a couple of schools for that, that is one of the few industries that is still heavily apprentice driven.
Oh, I bet.
Okay.
And you have to have certain physical capabilities to be able to do that
Totally.
job, and they all have testing for your level of smell.
Interesting.
I actually worked for a large multinational company that I won't name, and internally they had a group of people that, and you could test to get into this group, but you really had to pass the test as to how well you could discern certain odors,
Right.
and
So it's kind of like a chef or something like that, like in the sense where you're like, I could taste like you close your
Like
eyes and
it's
taste.
strong palate.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a strong palate.
Yes,
Thank
exactly.
you. Well,
But
it's fascinating. But
I would suck at that job so hard because I have a broken smeller, and not like it broke somewhere down the line. I like literally will be one of those people who be like, "Oh, I smell French fries," and my boyfriend will be like, "No, the cat just shit. You're crazy." Like,
yeah.
so like I would fail miserably at
Like,
that.
these French fries are great. You're like, you're not eating French fries. What?
What?
But I find that stuff, it's just fascinating. And it's weird. It's like, it's such a simple thing, but like the fact that you just did it is great. I mean, like you found there's a need and you found that.
Well, let's hope there's a need.
Well, I mean, everybody shits. Everybody poops.
If you eat food, it's got to come
yeah,
out.
it's coming out. So at least you must have something to help cover that up.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Well, like I had the travel poopery, and I do love poopery also, but I had the travel poopery, and it only has like 2 uses to it. Like you have over 10 pills in here?
Yes,
like
there are 9.
9? Okay. So it's still like that's a lot easier to me, and it's easier to fill up. The poopery, like the mini thing, it's not as easy to fill, and it's so it's tiny, which is great, and it has spilled in my purse, and it's just like or leaks.
had that problem.
And so this is like when I saw it, it was like everything I really, really like and need in my life. My poos need.
Yeah, very cool product.
Thank you.
Yeah, we approve.
Yes.
Not that means anything, but
We have the shooting shit seal of approval. Approval.
Approval.
Do you have a graphic for the shooting shit?
We might
seal of
have
approval?
to.
We might have to make that. I mean, it's probably going to come at some
I'll see
point.
if I can fit it on the label.
Right?
Yeah, right. Thumbs up. It's like a thumb with like a big turd on it.
So, John, tell us, what kind of toilet paper do you like to use? And do you do over or under?
All right, so over, Dave.
Like I said before, I think I'm just coming to the point in my life where I really am starting to not care.
And I have to say, the cat excuse doesn't work because I have 2 cats.
I mean, I will say that I think both of our cats have never fucked with the TP. That being said, we've had cats sit on the toilet seat and just sort of stare at it. And again, I have no actual scientific proof of this, but when it was under,
they didn't fuck with it.
They didn't mess with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, they've never actually done that.
I've always heard that optimists put it over and pessimists put it under.
I guess
we did a whole episode about
there
different
was,
social classes.
It was kind of crazy.
So to your point on that episode, how people who put it over tend to make more money. I think it may be related to the optimism.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I'm gonna get in this weird spot where I'm, like I said.
And I'm as bad as Ellen. I have switched people's toilet paper.
Oh, wow. See, I think
I did it the last time I was over. I don't know if you noticed.
I think it's hilarious. See, that's another thing. I think I'm just, after doing this show now, that I don't think I even notice anymore, because it's just like when I do see it, I'm like, oh, whatever. It's just like our cleaning lady came the other day and she put a new roll on and it was over, and I was like, what the I'm like, you know what?
Did she fold the triangles?
No, she did not fold the triangles.
I love when they do that.
Like, it was just, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't like that, but I'm like, that's a weird excuse for like having it over, just to get that little bougie, like.
It's so pretty though.
I mean, if you want origami, take just do it with regular paper.
I did think we posted on the Instagram the different toilet papers astrology, and the one for Aquarius, which I am, was like the roll just on top of the empty roll.
Yeah.
Like the thing that gives me the biggest pet peeve. Like, really, it takes 2 seconds to change.
She would murder.
Roll.
She would murder.
And I was like,
I have the same pet peeve.
Yeah, and I was like, you sons of bitches, Aquarius is so wrong. It's like, you fuckers.
Show me Scorpio.
God.
Because I didn't see that one.
Scorpio is like a potted plant. It's like different origami that they do with toilet paper.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not me.
Yeah. I'm a Scorpio too. I don't think of that. That doesn't really seem like me, but I'll take it. So
as far as brand goes?
Yeah, brand. What's your brand?
So I'm Scott Extra Soft.
Oh,
okay.
And I find that it's the perfect balance between the softer and the strength of the Scott.
Right.
The only problem that I have is I've got one of those old ceramic built-in holders.
Oh, yeah.
And now they only do like the super large rolls.
Yeah.
So we're like Aquarius until it's small enough to put it on.
Well, that
Right.
I understand.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
It's just like, my parents' place is like that.
I heard one of the toilet paper companies is actually coming out with a roll that's so big that it lasts a month.
Yes, it's not Cottonelle. Is it Cottonelle?
One of those brands. But I was like, that sounds like a
infinity
great
roll?
idea, except for it's not going to fit into most people's holders.
Well,
Right.
if you live in New York City and in this area, the tri-state area, with some regard, like as far as like bathroom size, like I don't know where to even put that. It'd have to be in the hallway. I'd have to like sort of like start. Like
You have to get one of those industrial, and then it fits 2 rolls on.
completely, because this thing is like I want to say it's Cottonelle, but I don't think it is Cottonelle.
I will have to look it up. I just had to pee mid podcast, and it ended up having to poo, and I used the Undercover Poo.
You did?
I did.
That was the fastest.
It was
like,
a tiny poo. It was like a little nugget.
And it was your little unicorn, like no push, no wipe type thing.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
no, I did wipe, and then I had to use the tushy.
Oh yeah, the tushy.
But I was like, it was this tiny little nugget, and I was like, whoa, I gotta cover it up with the Undercover Poo.
Bam. So we're testing live.
Poo. But that's the weird thing
live
that's
for
been
us.
happening with me recently with all the meds I'm on, is that if I have to pee, it'll squeeze out a poo.
Well, I mean, you're using the same muscles.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Mid-afternoon poo.
I like it. So sorry, Scott Soft or
Scott
Scott
Extra Soft.
Yeah, Extra
Yes.
Soft and
Over.
And
okay.
over. Yep.
This question, floor or pants?
Since you sent these to me, I've actually been thinking about that. And
It's like kind of a weird like philosophical question. Like the more you think about it, the harder the answer gets.
well, so and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, in thinking about it, of course I'm going to choose floor because it's easier to clean up.
Completely.
But I honestly think that if I were in the situation, it's going to be pants.
Yeah.
I don't want to choose that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's the question. It seems simple, but then you're kind of like, well, especially in this day and age with like cell phones and
Yeah.
you can't like just be like, you know what, I'll just do my thing here. It's a little embarrassing, but no one's gonna know. Oh, they're gonna know.
They're going to know.
Unless you're just like some complete animal and just don't care. You're like, you know what, fuck it. I'll be an internet sensation for like a couple days.
That's what you want to be known for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But the floor pants question, you have to realize that it's an emergency poo, and emergency poos are usually a Bristol 7. Like, it's coming out of you like hot lava. You don't have a choice, and that's not something you can contain in your pants. You're ruining your pants.
it's like a quick thinking kind of thing. But it's like, sure. I mean, it's like if you're in the subway. I mean, you got to go pants. Like, I mean, you have to.
Well,
like, you just.
I don't know. It is New York.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen some crazy shit. No pun intended. In New York since my time living here for 23 years or 20. Oh my God, is it that long? Yeah, 23 years. Anyway, I've yet to see, knock on wood, someone actually just drop trowel right in the middle of the subway car and take a dump. I mean, look, I have a lot of years left in me, so who knows?
I'm sure it's happened, though.
Oh, it's definitely happened. I've yet to see that.
Well,
So-
it's like Cheeky Lane's episode. She talked about somebody pooed right there in a subway car, but nobody saw it happen, but the duty was there and nobody was touching it.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen a person actually do that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see that. So if anybody's listening to this and they think I don't want to see this, but if I do happen to, upon this, I mean, it's gonna be great for this show.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you are not gonna believe what I saw today.
My boyfriend saw a woman taking a shit in the park near our house. And the funny thing about that is there are nice public bathrooms in that park. And he saw a woman shitting. And I was like, what? There's a bathroom like 10 feet away from where she was going.
It's the same kind of person that like, they'll just throw their trash on the ground and there's a garbage can like right there.
Yeah.
You're like, really, man? You couldn't wait the extra like 2 steps? So, I mean, that person,
I've only seen, I saw a woman once in Union Square urinating above a subway grate. And she had a skirt on and like she was talking to her friend as the pee was coming out of her. And I was so disturbed for like 48 hours. It was like something had poisoned me. I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most disturbing things I've seen in New York. And it was only pee. But I just thought about like anytime something's dripping from the subway, I was like, it's somebody's pee. And this woman didn't look homeless. She just like was like, fuck it. I'm going to piss right here.
She's like, talk to me and make it seem like, it will distract anybody.
Like she couldn't even be bothered to stop talking to her friend for a minute.
He turned around and was like,
yada, yada, yada.
And I was like, oh my God. And I've seen like dead bodies. I've lived here for almost 23 years also. I've seen dead bodies. I've seen guys masturbating. I've seen a woman giving a guy a blowjob in the 90s while he was on a payphone. Like,
wow.
Like I've seen it all in New York
He's
City.
like, talk about multitasking.
Yeah.
Wow.
At like
It's
9
like,
p.m. It wasn't even that late. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, where do I live again?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
But
I've never seen.
I'm with you. I think like I mean, obviously floor would be my first choice, but depending on the situation.
I think if you're I'm thinking if I'm in the situation, I'm not going to be level-headed enough to say floor. I think I'm going to be looking for my out, and
exactly.
I'm just gonna
like,
lose.
where do I like just doing it here, and then how do I get out of this situation?
I mean, my accident story, I was in an actual bathroom and I was shitting my pants because I couldn't get to the toilet soon. I mean, like I could have just squatted down right then and there, but there was like a line of people. Like,
yeah,
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you did that, you might have to move. You're like, I can't come back here or this state, maybe. But yeah, good answer.
Thank you.
So, do you have any first memories of poos or farts as a child?
So I don't have like super young memories, but I remember this one time. I must have been 6 or 7, and I think we were out either a baseball game or a concert or something. And I remember my father taking me to the bathroom, and I had a poop. And when I was done, I got up and I flushed the toilet and I screamed, "Bombs away!" And my father was just freaking mortified. Because we come out of the stall and like everybody's staring.
I mean, they must have been laughing. That's pretty funny. I mean, I would
yeah,
laugh.
if it came from a little kid, it'd be hilarious.
I'd be dying if I heard that in the bathroom.
But
He's like, "That's
if
my
you're
boy."
an adult at Home Depot and you say that, you might have the SWAT team called. That was one of our news stories in one of the episodes.
Down south somewhere.
Some guy was
this
like,
was the 80s. So.
Yeah. Some guy recently at Home Depot was like, "I'm throwing bombs in here," and somebody called 911 on him.
Yeah, the whole bomb squad came down. Which is hilarious, but in so many ways. Was it in Kansas? It was in Kansas. I don't know. It was somewhere
somewhere in Middle America where it's like nobody's bombing you.
No one's got a sense of humor, apparently.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Bombs away.
Do you have any funny accident stories? Have you pooped your pants?
I actually have.
It's okay. We all have.
Yeah, no
People who
judgment.
say they haven't, I'm like, you
They're
fucking
liars.
liar.
I don't. I never
I
believe it.
did it at home when I was sick. I'm like, whatever. Fuck you.
I find that lately people are freely telling me their accident stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've heard about a couple of friends who one ate some bad gas station sushi and
Right there.
Right
Wrong.
there. They should have stopped. I mean, were they that hungry? I would have gone with a bag of chips at that point.
Sorry about this cough.
So and he wound up shitting himself in his car and all over his car. And then I had another friend who
That serves him right. That's like a Darwin Award story.
I don't want to wish that on anybody, but that's. I mean, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh.
But anyway, sorry.
I had another friend who wound up shitting himself after church, and had to drive home, and then he was out in the yard stripping down and hosing himself off before he went in the house.
Oh,
The Holy Ghost was in him.
I know, or leaving
him.
Talk about a resurrection.
I mean, at least he like sprayed himself off out in the yard. That's considerate.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I don't think I'll say this. I think like 2 weeks ago, I had a shart. And it was the worst one I've ever had.
It was a shart from hell.
And fortunately, I hadn't left the house yet, so it was, all right,
perfect. There you go.
Go back, get changed, clean up, and get out. But no, one time when I was in high school, I was trying to hold it and just couldn't, and eventually it went, and eventually I went to the bathroom and tried to clean up as well as I could. But I remember there was this really popular. I was like in 8th grade or 9th grade. And there was this really popular kid who I wound up running into in the gym because, of course, it was like in the locker room. And he's like, "Dude, you smell like shit." And I, honestly, I think maybe part of that embarrassment. I don't think about that story very much, but I think part of that embarrassment might be why I did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's especially at high school, like that junior high school age, stuff like that is just. I mean, that's it's a sealed deal that you're going to be like, oh, it's the kid shit his pants.
Yep, there you go. It makes the yearbook.
Yeah.
And you turn to the popular kid and like, whatever, you shit your pants.
Yeah.
You smell like shit.
Those kids. Yeah, oh my God. That must have been, I've been there. Elvis had left the building. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like when I don't think I talked about this on my dad's episode, but when we were little kids, farting was so important to like the bonding my brother and I had with my dad, that my dad would on the weekends take us out to like a museum or the park or like hang out with friends, and we'd get in the car, and with my mom we'd always have to sit in the back seat, but with my dad we got to both sit in the front seat with him. And so many times we're driving down the driveway and we're trying to squeeze out farts and we would shit our pants. And my dad like literally would look over at us like, don't shit your pants. I'm not turning around. Like, stop this. But it happened multiple occasions.
Wow. My dad would have been like, no, that's not happening. Not on my watch.
But like when you have a father farting
Yeah.
in your face as to his way of showing love,
your dad, I mean, your father for sure, like loved that stuff. I mean,
oh yeah,
my parents.
he just didn't want to change our
not
shitty
acknowledge
pants.
like anything. I think like if someone farted, they'd just kind of be like, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Just kind of
that was kind of the way my house was.
Yeah, like they didn't really like. I mean, occasionally like they might laugh at something here and there, but it was never like Ellen's dad is like. I mean, this guy celebrated farts and shit.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's like, I mean, he's mailing you cards all the time with that
for
kind
every holiday.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I think it's fantastic.
Like, I'm surprised he hasn't found like a Martin Luther King farting
Oh my
card.
God.
You know?
I have a.
Yeah.
We're gonna be like, how dare you?
That's a little sacrilege, maybe.
But you know, I mean, look,
But he was a man, so
Yeah,
If he
might-
did
yeah.
not fart, that would be surprising.
He's like everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised Hallmark doesn't have a card for that. I mean, that might be one of the rejected ones. They come in, they're like, Jerry,
That one's on
that's
the floor.
completely inappropriate. But maybe we'll just save that for like, maybe times will change. We'll bring that up later.
So funny. Besides Undercover Poo, is there any other products that you like? Do you use wipes, bidet? What were you using before Undercover Poo?
I had used the spray once. I didn't really have a lot of success with it. Like you guys, I've used candles,
Yep.
match, room spray, and had the failures, just
It's a
like
standard,
everybody
like,
else.
yeah.
Do you use baby wipes? Are you a dry wiper?
So now I'm a dry wiper. When I had young children and we had baby wipes in the house, I used baby wipes. I have been thinking about, because I don't have these miracle no wipe things.
I know.
No, that's
Ellen-
only
That's
literally
only Ellen. That's just like I
that's
know.
only been for me for like the past like 8 months because of all the supplements and stuff I am with my
She's
disease.
like she's like a magical person.
No, only my asshole.
So I have been thinking about going back to baby wipes, but nothing brings me over to that aisle in the
Yeah.
supermarket
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So
I mean, we used to be baby wipes like central. I mean, my wife still brings them like she's got a little like kit that we bring. She brings everywhere when we go out. So it's like an emergency type of thing just to have them on you. But since we got the Tushy, a little snap-on bidet thing, it's been great.
Yeah.
yeah, I may have to try that.
I mean,
it's a game changer.
it wasn't on my radar.
Okay.
I wasn't thinking about it. My wife works at a magazine and like this business magazine. She's an art director there, and she one of the profiles they had done was on one of the people that started Tushy. So anyhow, she just brought one home. I forgot how she even got it. She might have just
like
like
a party, you
well,
said.
well, no, we had two of them. We actually wanted gifting one for a friend for their wedding.
Oh.
I know. I was like, you know what? This is a great gift. Fuck it. They're getting this. But anyway,
So now this friend is going to listen to the podcast and find out you didn't even pay for it.
yeah. Well, I didn't cut that out. I'll just slide that out. Different friend. Anyway,
Hey,
you know,
I don't
like,
mind getting free swag.
I mean, it's a great gift. So maybe I'll just like, well, anyway, she'll forgive me. Anyhow, yeah, we got this thing. It changed my life. I remember the first time I used it, thinking like, how have I not used this before? Like, it's so simple. I mean, because like when I first thought of bidet, I'm like, oh, it's this expensive extra fucking toilet I got to put
Right.
next to my. I don't, like, how am I gonna do that in my little small ass apartment?
Plumbing and
Yeah. So I mean, this thing is great. You just pop it on. It took me 10 minutes to install my toilet, and it works great. And yeah,
Where's it pull the water from?
What comes into the tank, but not from the tank. It's like the
clean water coming in from like
Yeah, yeah.
So you connect the inlet.
Yes.
Yeah, you have like a splitter,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It comes in through the bottom.
and it comes with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like they have a little plumber's tape. You just put it in there so it doesn't leak out, and you just a little hose.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's great, and it just and the one I have like the first generation one. So mine has like a little hot water, cold water thing.
Oh.
that
You can buy
like,
that now. The Tushy sells it is the classic or the spa. In the spa, you can do hot water, but you have to have a hot water tap near you.
Yeah.
So it has to be
Yeah.
like the sink is
so
near
depending
you.
on like where you're.
So now we're talking about drilling holes through the
Well,
sink.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. Our apartment, the way it's set up, I couldn't really do that. So, but I mean, honestly, the cold thing, I kind of prefer.
I have the cold and I don't
and
mind
it's,
it.
you know, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, regardless,
Little shocking in the winter, I imagine.
you know, I would think, I mean, maybe because we were using it so much that I just got so used to it.
Okay.
But I did think that, but I didn't really notice a difference. I mean, it wasn't like so
most
cold. where you're
definitely
like,
cold, but you're not like you're not squeezing it for 5 minutes at a time. It's like a quick squirt
a
and
little
done.
blast,
You know?
and the pressure is shockingly. I mean, ours is. I had to readjust our pressure thing, but yeah, it works well. So I mean, you know, if you're thinking later on,
it's like a water pistol. It's like such a small stream.
Okay.
Like, you know, like it's not. Yeah.
but it does. I mean, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I will say, like, you know, so. I mean, if you're thinking of like moving on from the whole dry wipe thing or a mix of the two, the Tushy's a great, or whatever similar kind of product they have out there.
The problem we have with wet wipes is we have septic, so
Oh yeah,
you know,
that'll like
then you've got to put them in the trash.
Oh,
which I
yeah.
used to do, which it's kind of gross, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's better than fucking up your septic tank or
Yeah.
your plumbing of
Yeah.
any kind.
Yeah, but we're off the wipes completely now. Just the
I only wipe
Simply
now when
Travel.
I'm not around my Tushy.
yeah. So it's great. Anyway, that's another free advertisement for Tushy right there.
We just want everybody, like how that TV show Stranger Things, they as an insult they call people a mouth breather.
Okay.
I'm like, my new insult to people is like, oh, you're a dry wiper. Oh my god. Obviously you have not advanced yourself.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna
What
need,
century are you
Yeah.
living in?
I'm gonna need to develop a dry wiper support group.
Yeah. And it's weird going to someone's house that doesn't have it. I'm kind of like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I mean, where's your? Seriously, man. Like, let's upgrade here.
And so you're married
Yes.
and you have kids.
Yep.
How do they fend with potty talk, humor, whatever? Like, is your wife excited about your product because of obvious reasons, or like she's like, that's great, honey, I don't want to hear about it, or like
It's kind of like, you know, that's great, but you know, it's not taboo, but it's, I guess we don't talk about it that much, though. My 5-year-old has recently been strangely obsessed with poops and farts, and everything out of her mouth is poopy fart, and
I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's like the only reason I want to procreate.
and when they're 5, I mean, it's so cute that it's like,
yeah, you're not like.
yeah, okay.
It's not like she's at a job, like just you're like, hey, you want to maybe chill with the
Like Tourette's.
just for a minute,
Yeah.
so we can get this work done.
I told Dave like a couple weeks ago, I saw this mother with 2 kids walking down the street, and the kid just kept going, I'm gonna poop on you, I'm gonna poop on you, I'm gonna poop on you, like over and over, and the kid was probably around 5, 6.
Okay.
And I was just laughing hysterically. I was like, dude, I need you on my podcast, like yeah.
That would have been hilarious. If he
And
was
the
like,
mom
oh, he's like
was-
18. You're like,
Yeah.
what? You're like,
And the mom just had a look on her face like, I'm so over this, but I can't acknowledge it because either laughing or getting mad is just, you know,
Oh, yeah.
encouraging behavior.
you heard like a 10-second clip.
Yeah.
She's that loop's running at home like all day.
24 hours.
She's
a
just
day.
like, what? She's like, how are these my children? But yeah, I mean, kids are funny.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I feel like my wife is more like on the. I mean, she doesn't mind the poop and fart jokes.
Oh, my boyfriend
there's-
hates all of it. Like I was listening to our recent episode of. I mostly listen to the podcast because one, I love it. If it wasn't our podcast, it would be my favorite.
Okay.
But I want to listen to it because we always talk about like, oh, we'll post that on the Instagram page, and then I forget, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to post that today because
Yeah,
the
I always
episode
forget.
came out. But I was listening to our latest episode was about movies, and my boyfriend walked in and he started laughing, but he hates our podcast. And so I almost like tricked him into liking it. And he was like, oh yeah, that was funny in that movie. And he's like, wait, what are you listening to? Because he hates it,
And
but
now-
he does
So now he
secretly
really
love
hates that he.
it. Yeah, it's like I bait and switched him.
Yeah, you texted me that, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. He was laughing along to the podcast until he
He's like, "Wait,
realized what
what?"
he was really listening to. Because he like loves Howard Stern. Like he gets it.
Okay.
Like he
But I
just
think he doesn't want the whole show about this. It's
Yeah.
probably not his not up in his wheelhouse.
I just don't think he likes that his girlfriend poops.
I mean, it happens. Like if you didn't, that'd be even crazier.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can find out what happens if you don't.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
It takes about 8 weeks to die.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's just. I had a friend who was telling me some stories. Like, I go like once every like 2 weeks, which I was like, what?
God.
Yeah. This is a while ago she told me this, and I remember thinking like that. I mean, I'm no doctor,
No.
but that does not sound healthy at all.
No. Well, so I've been studying this recently because we want to put together some educational material. So I've been scouring the internet looking for, it's sort of, I guess, to play towards the embarrassment, people that are so embarrassed that, they just completely back up. And there are actually a couple of news stories out there about people who have literally died from not
That's
shitting.
crazy. What a way to go.
Which is how I know it takes about 8 weeks.
Wow, that's fucking crazy to me. That's so sad.
Evil.
Yeah, just like just kind of like, and there's a portion of that. It's just like a little bit of like a mental thing. There's like an embarrassment. It's just like almost like I can't do this. Like
Yeah, I keep saying I want a psychologist on to talk about like because I have a friend of mine. I'm not gonna name this person, but they recently had a breakup and were shitting all week to the point where they went to the doctor about it because they thought they had a parasite and they realized it was just psychological from the breakup.
Okay.
And they were like, they stopped shitting, and it was like it wasn't a parasite, it wasn't a stomach bug, it was literally just stress.
Okay.
And I was like, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Like, and there's got to be something mental, the mind body connection, the mind gut poop
Yeah, I'm sure
connection.
there is.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it wasn't that this person couldn't poop in front of their partner.
No.
Oh,
I think they were just
so
upset
backed
with
up.
they're like, finally I can go. Oh my god, I can go finally.
But I was like, oh my god, that's so sad.
Yeah.
It's like just poo.
Well, they're fine now. I think.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I think when they realized that it was like stress, it went away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, there's something very tied into that. But not pooing,
I mean, that's just 8 weeks
evil.
of that. Oh
Yeah.
god,
No.
Oof, that's bad.
evil. And obviously your job is poo related, but has anything happened at the workplace that was poo fart related?
Well, I pretty much do all this by myself. So, so yeah, there's definitely some farts. They just flow as needed.
Yeah,
'cause
you're
there's
like-
nobody around to be bothered.
That's the best.
I have these things that my boyfriend gave me called Subtle Butt, and it's a carbon thing that you put in your underwear, and it's supposed to suck up the smell of the fart. And I'm like, I kind of tried it. I think we need a whole episode where we try
Yeah, we
this
have
and we
to-
just eat gassy
Yeah.
foods and
We have to-
see if it
that's gonna-
works.
Now,
Okay,
look-
good. Well, you're going to save me from trying to develop that because that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, all right, well, what would the next product be? And it's like, okay, well, something for your underwear, but then you couldn't build it into the underwear because it would be ruined when you wash them.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
This,
something you could drop in there.
These are
that'd be-
hilarious. I mean,
Yeah.
They're like a maxi pad almost, and you can stick it on, but it also says it's reusable. You could like pull it off one pair of underwear and put it on the other. I tried it and I wasn't as excited. Maybe they can find a better way of doing it, but
What would you do if you were wearing a thong?
you found one that was like for thongs, right?
oh, I
Online.
think I did. I can't remember what that looked like.
I mean, maybe you could cut it.
cut it. You're like, you just tape it to your cheeks. I don't want this.
It would just ride right up the middle.
Yeah, it's like you split it in the middle. I don't want this to turn into a subtle butt commercial here, but and again, this is a very visual thing. But reading this packaging, it says SPD, SBD, breaking wind, cutting the cheese, ? Subtle butts, and my favorite part at the end, fashion first aid. I mean, takes the bad part out of the fart. I mean, they have a sense of humor. That's another thing. If you're gonna get into any kind of things like this, you gotta have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I couldn't imagine meeting someone who's just like,
I think I got rid of all the stickers that go with it. So I think the sticker part is gone.
Well,
So you'd have to get something new, like a toupee tape or something.
I have a bad habit when I'm shopping with my wife of leaving little air biscuits around, and they're always silent but deadly in the store.
SBD.
I may have to look into
This might be the thing. Yeah, just look into your research into your product.
Yeah.
Also, another thing about this packaging, real quick, and coming from since I went to school for design, whoever designed this should be fired because the text, I just don't understand like why. You know what? I'm not even going to bother talking about it. It's just it's ridiculous. Really bad typography, and I'm just leave it at that.
Okay.
But funny packaging, though. I mean, really.
The copy's good.
The copy's good.
Font is not so good.
Yeah, the kerning, the leading.
The layout.
All dorky stuff I'm talking about right now, but yes.
Well, I'm sure you could probably critique mine as well because I designed them and I'm
yours
not.
Is great.
No, they're very.
I'm not a graphic
Are you
designer.
kidding me? Like, I like the little it's got the. I'm looking at the for those of you listening at home, I'm looking at the container for Undercover Poo, and it's got this little cute turd with a little hat and sunglasses, like a little undercover guy. It matches.
And
Done
I
well.
love the toilet in the back. Plop, fizz, drop.
Yes.
Yes.
It's very simple. The packaging is very simple, neat, and organized.
Yes.
Thank you.
So
You did a good job.
yes.
Thank you.
A+.
We are certified. What did we call it before?
I don't remember now.
Oh,
I have
we're gonna
zero
have to
memory.
listen back to the podcast.
Shooting the shit approved or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
A meter. I don't know.
Approved.
We both have the worst memories.
Oh my God,
I can't
yeah.
remember something from like 40 minutes ago, but some kind of approval rating system. Well, with that said,
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Well, everybody we will post on the Instagram about Undercover Poo. Oh, what is your website?
Undercoverpoo.com.
Undercover Poo.
Perfect.
See how easy that is, you guys. So get some and yeah.
use it. Tell
Yeah.
your friends. Tell anybody you know because it's like it says on the packaging, like it never happened. Like it never even happened.
But this
So-
podcast sure did.
Yeah, this did.
Thank you.
So we're gonna get into our next segment here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Let's Get Shitty!
That whole segment intro took me, I think, 5 seconds to make.
It's so good.
Compliments of the evil,
Very good.
Compliments of the evil hate monkey, who's
Yes.
a performer here in New York, who actually said that on air, and then I just chopped it up and made it into a little.
If you haven't heard his episode, you should listen to it.
There's some funny stuff in there. So Ellen's been chomping at the bit for her Let's Get Shitty moments.
Oh yeah.
What do you got for us?
My Let's Get Shitty, and I'm going to take this subject matter and turn it around to poo. You guys are going to be so like, oh, what does this have to do with poo? No, I have like formulated it perfectly. Anti-vaxxers. I'm sorry, but really, people, it's science. If somebody tells me they're an anti-vaxxer, to me, it's the same level as being a flat earther. Like, it's the same thing. It's science, people. Like, we almost eradicated so many of these diseases, and now a lot of them are back, and they are having like state and government, like, they're
national emergencies.
They're national emergencies. And like even Bill de Blasio, who's the mayor of New York, as we've said before, we do record this out of New York City, he's declared a public health emergency because Williamsburg, Brooklyn had 300 cases of measles
That's
recently.
crazy.
And to the point where they're not, if you choose not to vaccinate, you will be fined up to $1,000. And you won't be able to go to school, all the rest of it. Like, it's getting so bad. And these people are, the anti-vaxxers, I just don't understand. Like, and I have some friends who are this way, and it makes me crazy. Like, you bring this beautiful baby into the world, and like 200 years ago, you would have like 20 kids just because you knew half of them were going to die of some horrible disease. And now you don't have to do that. And you bring these beautiful children into the world. And so how I want to turn this into poo is
that was the best. First of all, that was the funniest segue. Just
Segue.
you're like, these beautiful children. How am I going to turn this into poo? So
I'm going to turn these shitty kids. Well, no. I am currently getting vaccinated for HPV because the HPV vaccine came out maybe close to like 15 years ago. But when it came out, the age limit was 26 and under. Yeah, it was fucked up. And when it came out, I was 28, and I was like, well, I asked my gynecologist, I was like, can I get vaccinated? And they were like, no, if you're over the age, then you have to pay for it out of pocket. And at the time, it was like $600. And I was like, I don't have that money. But if you were under 26, then the insurance companies paid for it. So just as this year, they actually changed it to 45. And I'm 41, so I went and got my physical, and I told my doctor, it was like, hey, I heard it's 45, so can I get it? And she was like, yeah, I'm literally giving everybody the HPV vaccine, and because insurance pays for it. And I was like, yeah. And why am I getting it? HPV is not just like a woman's pap smear kind of bullshit. It's connected to throat cancer and butt cancer. How I'm going to turn this into poo. I don't want anus cancer where I have to shit in a colostomy bag for the rest of my life.
That would be horrible.
Right?
I mean, yeah. That's
getting
no
like
bueno.
3 shots. The first one you get, and then the second one you get 2 months later. It's like 4 to 6 weeks later. And then the last one is like 4 months after the last shot. And so I've gotten my first 2. I am currently vaccinating myself because I don't want throat, uterus, butt cancer.
No, you do not.
See how I turned anti-vaxxers into like colostomy bag no.
That was masterful.
That was wonderful.
I need to get a clapping sound effect because that was great.
Thank you.
You did it. You turned it around.
Yes.
I'm
I didn't
lame.
see that coming.
I don't think I even have one for this week. You don't? I mean, I'm sure. I feel like I feel like I'm complaining all the time, but now it's like, as I'm talking into this microphone, like I really can't think of. I mean, the only thing I could think of, which happened yesterday, was my upstairs neighbor. I mean, obviously, you live in New York. It's very box-like culture because you're in apartments, and I get it. There's like noise here and there.
Yeah,
it just happens. But these people have a child, one of 3 now. Well, the other 2 don't live here anymore. I don't know what happened to them. I think they got bored of them or something. I don't know.
Those kids were mad.
So this one kid is like, I mean, it is the amount of running this child does and just stomping at all hours of the night. At one point, I think they were just going to sleep and like
leaving the kid to run around.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm talking like 1:30. One time at 2:00 in the morning, I woke up to the kid playing. Like, and of course, he's like playing in his parents' bedroom, so it's their bedrooms right above ours, and it's just like we have like really high, like decent ceilings, so it's like things like echo a little bit here and there, and it's just like I'm like, who does this? But I mean, like, that's just kind of a lame thing to complain about because I really don't blame the kid, I blame the parents, and they drive me fucking crazy. And look, I don't have children. I don't think I need to have children to sort of be like, hey, maybe your kid doesn't need to be running around at like 1:30 in the morning.
It's common decency.
Because other people have to go to work and do things that like, maybe they want to be in bed and get a nice sleep. But yeah, my neighbors who, I mean, they're just the worst. I can't stand them. And they have a dog. They have like every loud thing. I mean, granted, the dog, I haven't really heard the dog in like forever. I mean, every once in a while you hear him like howl. But for the most part, it's been pretty quiet. But I'm just waiting for them to get like a jackhammer or maybe a sledgehammer.
She's going to walk in her high heels.
Yeah, like, take a tap class or a trampoline perhaps. At Christmas time, where we woke up, and I just remember thinking like, it was a nice mellow morning. Like we had some people coming over later that day for dinner. And we're just watching TV, and I swear to God, I hear a drum set. At like 10 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Yeah, and I'm like, I put pause on the television, and I'm kind of like, and my wife's like, what's going on? I'm like, is that a drum set? It was a drum set.
Oh,
like it wasn't an electronic drum set because I could hear like the sort of like them cycling through different sounds. Luckily, that only lasted like that one day, and I haven't heard it since. Maybe they have headphones now, but I mean, it was. At one point, I'm like, I'm gonna have to go upstairs and be like, we have to have a talk about this.
Yeah.
A drum set? I'm like, and the kid, and it was definitely not an adult person playing this. It was a small child because
There's
beats,
no rhythm.
The beats were horrible. The beats were whack.
So it'd be like me playing the drums.
Oh no, it would. I mean, like, I feel like as an adult, you could probably kind of like.
No,
this sounded
not
like
me.
someone was throwing sticks at something.
Oh God.
Like there was no, it wasn't even like someone was like kind of like trying to play the drums. It was like, and we just throw some things at this and see what happens. Just like random pots and pans clanging. But yeah, that's my sort of impromptu. Let's get shitty.
Do you have anything, John, to add? Anything that's pissed you off recently?
I mean, you don't have to have anything either. It's not like,
nothing's coming to
there's
mind
no,
right
there's
now.
no, it's not like, we just thought like, we just wanted a segment to just bitch about things. That's really, that's how it came about.
Okay. No,
like,
I'm sorry. I don't have anything to contribute
that's okay.
today.
That's cool.
It's okay.
You can email us or text us later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll just
That's when it'll happen when I'm walking down to the parking.
It's
garage.
fine. I'll be your proxy.
Yeah.
I'll speak for which it does happen. You'll be like tonight, like at midnight. You're like, wait,
I had the perfect thing.
yeah, it's okay. No pressure.
And now we
Stop
get
saying,
to go into
Oh, we're going into news.
and we have a new song for that, which we're very excited
Yeah.
about. It's you have John listened to some of our episodes,
Yes.
but it is so surprising how much poo and farts are in real news. Like, it's to the point where we have multiple news articles to go through every
Yeah.
week.
I really
Wonderful.
have to find that phenomenon.
It's called your reticular activating system.
Oh, there we go.
We learned something
Didn't
new.
even have to Google that thing. Thank you for that hookup. But yes, so like since we started doing this podcast, like literally everyone sends us stories about shitting, farting, pooping. It's hilarious.
There's
And it's
so
like,
many, and in like legitimate news sources.
Yeah.
Like my dad's episode, we read something from the New York Times.
New York
like,
Times, the New York Post, sorry, Washington Post. I've got stuff from. I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah, the week we started this podcast, there was two SNL and Daily Show had like things talking about poo on it in the same week, and I was like, it's like that word. It's like
Your reticular activating system.
There we go.
reticular activating.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Well, it's been activated.
it has.
Yes.
So with that being said. It's a little long. So I don't mind talking.
Breaking news.
On here, it's the best
Well,
part
when I
of it.
listen to it at 1.5 speed, it won't be that
No.
long.
That was my favorite part.
Our breaking news is also breaking
Breaking
wind.
Yeah, Ellen sent me that link for that royalty free, by the way, clip. On my she texted it to me, and then I was like, oh yeah, we put like a fart or shit sound. She's like, you're reading my mind. I was like, perfect. So we're on the same page. So anyway, with that cue.
Of our breaking
Yeah,
news.
this like poopy story comes from us. Comes to us by via Vox, Vox.com, which I'm always not sure what the hell. I guess it's kind of like a conglomerate of. It's like a weird.
There's so many
media.
.coms
Yeah,
out
there's
there.
it's like
I
a weird
can't-
media news source.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is a really great story. It's by Brian Resnick. So you can find Brian on Vox. Basically, it's talking about the Apollo astronauts.
It's funny that we're talking about Bran on the Shooting the Shit podcast.
Oh, yeah. Did I say Brian? Oh, my God. I can't even talk. Sorry, Brian. You're not Bran. Brian Resnick from Vox. This whole story is basically about... I'm not going to give you the whole boring... That's right. The story wasn't boring.
This story is awesome.
This story is awesome. I'm not going to get into all the scientific parts about it. We're just going to talk about the actual poop parts about it.
Okay.
But basically, it's been 50 years since the Apollo 11 moon landing. And along with Neil Armstrong's iconic footprints, which left undisturbed because there's no atmosphere, nothing to blow it away. The bigger human footprint on the moon was the 96 bags of human waste left behind.
Oh, God.
Yeah. These guys were pooping like crazy up there.
And it reminded me of that song "Whitey's on the Moon."
Yes.
And it's not just Whitey on the
I was
moon.
going to say, it wasn't no Whitey's.
It's Whitey's poop on
Whitey's
the moon.
poops on the moon. So,
done bit my sister Nell with Whitey on the moon.
I love that song.
Oh my God. I love him too.
Yeah.
So,
Whitey's shit
I love
is on the moon.
Gil Scott-Heron was the best. R.I.P. Anyway, yeah, they left little. Well, I guess they were called baggies of diapers. They were actually labeled. There's a really good acronym for it. I think they were called MAGs, maximum absorption garments.
Okay.
And what that was basically a plastic bag taped to the underwear. So these guys would just walk around like pooping in these bags.
Kind of like a colostomy
Like
bag.
kind of a colostomy bag, but literally right over your ass.
Oh.
And they, because, like there's a lot of people that are really smart out there that were planning these early missions.
Yeah.
So weight was a big factor.
50 plus years ago.
Yeah, 50 plus years ago, especially. Like the technology was just not there. But basically, like, they couldn't be, coming back to Earth with like extra weight. So they had to like jettison some stuff. So like the poo was left
shit behind.
Exactly.
Okay.
They were collecting moon rocks and they were leaving their own shit rocks. So
Would
anyway,
it be funny if those moon rocks were like Martian shit and the Martians are just like, they took our poo home.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens to shit in space.
Well, that's what they were talking about. They were kind of, this is more the sciencey part that like, I thought was fascinating. They were talking about like, whole they had microbes and like things growing in a sort of like moist atmosphere.
Okay.
But they're like, chances are most of this stuff, depending on how it was wrapped up, probably is just been dried out.
Yeah, I was gonna say the liquid would evaporate because there's no atmosphere to hold it.
Now, if there was something that like, maybe Neil Armstrong was like really good at like sealing things. Maybe he double bagged it. I don't know. But if some of this stuff survived, like that's like actually a pretty crazy science experiment, and NASA definitely wants. They're talking about like maybe possible.
They're going to go back.
Yeah, to go pick
They
it
want to
up,
retrieve it.
because
Yeah.
like the whole idea being that like if microbes can survive on the moon, can they survive like interstellar travel?
Okay.
So making them capable of seeding life across the universe, including places like Mars, which that's a big thing.
Okay.
People want to kind of like they want to
We're
terraform
gonna
Mars.
seed Mars with our shit.
Yeah, I mean like
Well, it's like that Matt Damon movie.
The Martian.
That's what he literally did.
Yeah, he helped. That's how he kind of got off of it.
Yeah. Because he was like stuck.
I couldn't watch the end of that movie.
Oh, you couldn't?
No.
Yeah, he got stuck, and so he had to take human poop to grow potatoes so he could survive.
It was definitely a
I
movie.
didn't see that far into it.
It's definitely a film, but you're like, okay, this is I don't think it's going to be that quick, but sure, I get it. We only have like 2 hours. Anyway, Charlie Duke, who was an Apollo 16 astronaut, had said, we left urine that was collected in a tank, and I believe we had a couple of bowel movements, but I'm not sure. Come on, Charlie, you took a shit. Stop it. Those were in a trash bag. We had a couple of bags of trash we kicked out of onto the lunar surface.
I'm kind of like upset that they left trash on the moon.
Yeah.
Like,
They couldn't bother to walk to the trash.
Yeah.
That's a very American thing. You're like, someone else will deal with that shit. Like who?
Yep.
They're like, I don't know, but
so
not our problem anymore.
There's nobody here to notice.
I mean, I will say I get it.
Nobody's
like
here complaining.
I don't like. Yeah, I guess I don't like litter, but I get it. It's like, look, we can't make it back home unless we jettison some weight here. So this is definitely going.
At least like point it towards the sun and throw it that
Yeah.
way, right? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it'll eventually land and burn.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Well, so could you imagine being like the next guy that goes and walks on the moon and you accidentally step in the shit?
That'd be hilarious. I mean, I think that would be funny, but I don't know. Oh my God. So I mean, during the flight to the moon, astronauts relied, which I mentioned earlier, a plastic bag which was taped to the buttocks to capture feces. According to NASA, it was a disgusting, cumbersome process. Yeah, no shit. You're walking around like
with like a Ziploc bag taped to your ass.
Oh, it sounds horrible.
Who's doing the taping? Are
I
you
don't
taping
know.
to yourself?
I guess so.
I guess I could do
so.
that.
In that little pod?
I wouldn't want to be taping on somebody else's ass.
No.
I mean, it's like, hey Neil, can you give me a hand? It's like, sorry man, you're on your own.
I posted on the Instagram the newer toilets that are in space because it makes sense. Like everything's anti-gravity, so you have to have like a contraption where you can't even sit on the toilet properly unless you seatbelt yourself down.
Okay.
And then you have to have the toilet seems like they suck while you're pooing, kind of like an airplane toilet, but like even more so. But like they weren't even thinking about that back then, so they just had plastic bags taped. I mean, it's just awful.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean,
and you know they're not showering properly up there either, so like no bidet action of any kind.
I think they're up there for like an average of like 3 days or something like that.
I mean, talking about people smelling like shit.
Yeah, these are the dirty sides of space exploration no one talks about. But yeah, I mean, like there's a little diagram in this article. It talks about, it's got the picture of the moon and like Apollo 12, Apollo 14, Apollo 16, 11. I mean,
all of them have left shit up there.
I mean, yeah, they had to. I mean, it's like, it's crazy. I mean, so the moon is like just giant, like,
astronaut shit.
The moon is like after the winter here in New York City, when all the snow melts and there's nothing but dog shit, dried up husks of dog shit laying everywhere from the winter. That's what the moon reminds me of. So, you know, although, I mean, it's pretty cool that we got to the moon and all that stuff.
I really still would love somebody from NASA to like come and so we can interview them about space shits. I mean, as much as we read about it, I want to know firsthand all.
Oh yeah,
about
I want the whole behind the scenes.
Yeah.
No pun intended, or pun intended.
Pun intended. Yeah.
But yeah, so that was our little story about the you know.
So we spent $2 million or $20 million or $200 million developing a pen that would write in anti-gravity, and we couldn't come up with anything better than a Ziploc bag that you tape to your
baggie.
ass.
Yeah. Pretty much.
In the meantime, the Russians
maximum
used the
pencil. We developed a maximum absorption garment. Okay, just so you know.
Yeah, that's called a diaper.
Fancy ass underwear, yeah, diaper. We made a really expensive diaper to bring to the moon.
And then leave it up there.
Yeah, leave it up there. Like shit, we forgot something. But anyway,
so imagine you're the guy that has to calculate how much weight you've got to leave behind. It's like, Neil, you didn't shit enough. Go squeeze one out.
Yeah. It's like, get out there.
No, but the funny thing is, like, they had all that food. They ate it. It made into poo. Like, they weren't weighing all that stuff. Like,
but, I mean, they must have, because I mean, it's like, you know, they had to, like, it's probably down to, like, you know, they probably give a little bit of wiggle room, but like not much.
Not much.
And it's just like they have to bring back all these samples, all that stuff, and they're probably like, you know, figuring out if anything happens to go wrong, they might need to, you know, who knows. But yeah, then the shit's the first thing to go. The shit and piss. But I mean, I feel like if I was on the moon, I'd be so freaked out.
Didn't they have to recycle the urine for drinking water?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
But this guy, I mean, Charlie over here on Apollo 16. I put my notes away, people, so I can't remember his last name. But they said there was a tank for the urine. So I don't know if the tank was like, you know,
stayed up there
or was jettisoned or left behind. But I mean, still, it's just like, I think if I was if I was lucky enough to be an astronaut, I think I'd be so freaked out about flying in like basically a tin can. I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if I wouldn't go to the bathroom. Like, to be honest with you, like, I mean, these guys are like taking shits. I'm thinking the last thing I'm thinking is like, we need to get back home. Like that's my main concern. I mean, I have a mission. I got things to do. We got samples to collect. I get it, but
isn't all their food like dehydrated too? So you know their shits are like,
I guess,
like powder.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I mean, when I get like nervous or like things, I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, like
the constipation.
It's like a sort of like my body's kind of goes in this weird like, you know, shutdown mode. So. And the stakes are real high when you're in space.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be, you know, I mean, but kudos to these guys, man. They're that relaxed. They're just taking dumps left and right and leaving them behind. So, you know, it's good for them.
Yeah.
You know? I love our space program.
Our shitty space program.
I mean, it's just, I mean, now it's like, I'm sure like, you know, any like newer astronauts are probably like, those fucking guys. That's hilarious. But yeah, that was our little news segment, which is always
you feel
fun.
bad for them like you feel bad for what people had to use before toilet paper, right?
Oh yeah.
My God.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky that we live in this time now, because could you imagine?
It's also barbaric.
Yeah, draconian, as they say. So that was our news. I'd really like to thank John from Undercover Poo for coming on.
Thank
you,
you,
guys.
John.
Thank you for
We
having
are
me.
so excited to have our first product that we reviewed and used and love.
A
Undercover
great
Poo.
practical product.
Yes. Hey, you guys, do you want to try out some Undercover Poo? Because we will send you some for free if you only just email us to heypoopypodcast@gmail.com your stories about poop. We want accident stories. We want any kind of funny poop story that we can read on the podcast. We will not say your name, but you need to send us your story and your address, and we will mail you some free Undercover Poo.
Provided by John, the gracious man who owns this company. And just send us in your stories. They don't have to be your stories. They could be someone else's stories, but they have to be real.
They're
can't
real,
be-
yes.
You can't make it up.
Don't make up some fake story or take it from a movie or something.
Don't be embarrassed. Send your story.
Yeah.
They'll leave your name out of it if you want them
Yeah.
to.
It'll be fun. It's a fun little thing. And you
Yeah.
get some really cool prizes.
And our award-winning,
Rated?
approvaled. We approvaled.
Our approval.
Our approvaled
We're still working on the kinks on that one. But
product.
we gave us a big thumbs up.
Yes.
So send those stories in and we'll send you some Undercover Poo.
Undercoverpoo.com. We'll also post it on our Instagram, Hey Poopy Podcast. Get yourself some Undercover Poo.
Yeah. Like it never even happened.
Yes.
Hey, don't be embarrassed to go. Just go undercover.
Oh, I like it. Yes.
I like
That was
that.
fantastic.
Is that the Step Brothers one?
Yes.
Bless.
From the great movie Step Brothers. So we had to have that on there. And with that long ass fart.
It's a little wet at the end.
Oh,
too.
yeah. There's a little squeaker right at the end.
Ending on a long note.
Yes. Ending on a long note. We say adieu.
A-do-do.
Adieu.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Shooting the Shit. We are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Please rate, review, download. It really helps to get more listeners. Plus, tell all your friends about us. And
For more about Shooting the Shit with Dave and Ellen, you can check us out at heypoopypodcast.com. For questions, product reviews, information, please email us at heypoopypodcast@gmail.com. And you can see us on Instagram at Hey Poopy Podcast.
theme song by Jordan Perlson. Hey, Poopy.
Oh, that one's gross.
Very wet.
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
I'm just, trying to find a place with like-minded people to talk about like-minded things about me, about poop and stuff.
Hey Poopy, how you doing? Hey Poopy, how you doing?
Oh man, what's this right here? Is this a podcast about poop?